Welcome to Be Great Today, weekly inspiration to start your week. I'm Jonathan Bloom, or Frasley Sparkspan in the World of Warcraft. So my Fitbit broke recently, and it kind of got me thinking about seasons. In our lives, we have a lot of seasons that come up. The Smoky Bones Polaris location, which we ate at many times, closed months ago. And what's weird is realizing that we are no longer in the same circle as their favorite waiter who serves there. We always loved going there to see them. It always made our day to connect with them, to talk with them, to see what's going on with their life. And I mean, I've had a lot of seasons throughout my life. Having a dog was a season. It's one of those, I enjoyed it. I learned so much from the 8 years of having that dog. But in a weird way, I don't know if I want another dog. Now, I mean, if my family ever wants another dog, that's cool. But they're going to have to help a lot with it because dogs are a lot of work. I mean, a lot of reward, but a lot of work. You know, I've had friends for a season. There are friends that I hung out with, friends that we were close for a time. I would say we're still friends, but we aren't talking every day. We're not talking all the time. I don't see them every week. I'm often remembering the season of youth group, the fond memories of being with them every Sunday or Thursday whenever the youth group was there. In fact, I was in 3 youth groups at one point. So I had a lot of youth group memories. I was remembering choir. I was remembering the times hanging out with choirs. Like we would sing. And as my friend Sash described it, the euphoria of being together with other people, singing in a choir. There's nothing like that. There are times I want to recapture that. We have hobbies for a season. I have a lot of hobbies that I was doing. Like I was making videos a lot for fun. I'm not making those as much anymore. I'm podcasting right now. And I don't know what hobbies I'm in now that maybe are for a season. I learned from each of those. There are businesses and organizations that come and go, like the Smoky Bones that was here and gone. We hear of stores that were there. One of the things that's fascinating is going on YouTube, looking up dead malls by people like Brightson Films, This is Dan Bell, Retail Archaeology, seeing the malls that were here, the malls that are gone. My friend Amanda Sloan ran a restaurant for a season, and they learned a lot from it.
I'd wanted to own my own restaurant for years. Sure, the vision of it changed over time, but it's something that's always been a dream of mine. I remember sitting with my friends and talking about Amanda's Place, the diner I would someday open up. We'd have Sri Lankan curry nights and poutine and after-hours parties. There'd be laughter and happiness and endless chat with customers who became friends. The food we'd make would be out of this world delicious, and it would be talked about cities over. That place would have been amazing. The reality was a bit different to the dream. Going in, I knew it would be hard. But it was way harder than I ever expected. I'm a hard worker. I know how to work hard and put every effort in. But sometimes it isn't enough. Circumstances change, things don't go quite as planned. I had a business partner who, at the time, was my best friend, but it was kind of like I was running the place on my own. So one of the biggest takeaways for opening a business is if you're going to have a partner, make sure you can rely on them 110%. And make sure you get everything in writing so that everyone is held accountable if things go south. I learned a lot in the near 2 years of running my own restaurant, but I wish I'd known a lot more at the beginning. If I could do it all again, number one, I wouldn't. But number two, I'd do so much so differently. I wish that we hadn't brought so much bulk product at first, start small, and then buy what we need. Roadworks affect business, labor affects business when it needs to be done again and again and again, and you have to keep closing your doors. And the public won't actually do what they say they're going to do. Listen to your boyfriend. He doesn't express it well all the time, but he does genuinely have your best interests at heart. Don't be afraid to talk to people about how you aren't meeting your bills, how no matter how hard you're trying, what you're implementing, what you're doing to try to drive up sales, sometimes it's just not enough. If people aren't going to come through the door, you're not going to hit the massive overheads that you have. Startup costs for a restaurant are huge, bigger than you think they're going to be, way bigger. You can business plan till the cows come home, but things change, and not always for the better. Also, don't listen to weird sales guys who try to sell you something that's not actually a legal requirement yet. Other things I've learned: have a marketing budget right from the start. Keep your overheads low. I'm actually glad that I failed in my business because I was miserable. Nothing was working. I was fighting with my business partner, fighting with my boyfriend, and I was just so unhappy with the entire situation, and I didn't know how to get out of it. My restaurant didn't end the way I would have wanted it to. We got to the point where we knew we were going to close, but it was taken out of our hands the way that it happened. I wish that we'd been able to say goodbye and have a proper closing down. Give notice, you know? I was embarrassed. I've probably never been more embarrassed in my entire life. I would go so far as to say I was completely humiliated. I cut ties with nearly everyone I knew in the town for fear they would make fun of me. I couldn't look at them. It took over a year for me to be comfortable walking around the town. And even now, 2.5 years later, sometimes I still get anxious from it. I am glad I failed because I couldn't do it anymore. But I'm glad it happened. I'm glad I had the experience of opening my own business on such a large scale. I know it's something I never want to do it again, but I've done it. I don't have to wonder anymore. And I learned a lot. I learned how to build an audience, how to interact better with people, how to cook on a huge scale, how to prep vegetables really fast, how to write bad application forms and win awards, and how to manage a small, close-knit team of really fantastic people. But above all else, I learned that I'm strong. I'm stronger than I give myself credit for. And I'm capable of doing great things, things that are massive and crazy and successful. In business, they always tell you to imagine the worst-case scenario. Well, for me, the worst-case scenario happened, and it wasn't the end of the world. So here's to going after your dreams, failing, but coming out on top. It's okay to fail. You'll be stronger because of it.
And you can find Amanda in many awesome endeavors, like the podcast Geek, which is a critical geek culture podcast. Amanda learned from the experience of running that restaurant. She may not be running the restaurant right now, but it's still part of who she is. And like I said earlier, my Fitbit died, and it made me kind of think about our seasons of goals. There was a time where I was tracking every bit of my water. I still work to drink a lot of water every day, but I'm not tracking every ounce like it was for a season. And when my Fitbit died, I'm working with support to get it fixed. But it made me kind of think, do I need to do 10,000 steps every single day? Because the one thing it actually did was made me a lot more prone to doing walks, which is cool. It made me a lot more active. And I do try to be more active. I mean, well, today it's really cold. So for full honesty, I am not going on a walk today because it's just very cold. It feels like 7 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I know some of my friends in Canada are like, oh, that's nothing. But yeah, I'm still going to take my walks. But there might be a day or two where due to rain or weather or time, I don't get my steps. And that's okay. There's seasons of workflows. There's seasons of time where we do things. We do something a certain way, then we no longer do it. We change how we do it. We find that that thing no longer works. There will probably be a day where Facebook is no longer something that we use all the time. In fact, we're finding out a lot of kids are not using Facebook anymore. It's not cool for them. And with a lot of things going on with Facebook, who knows what will happen with it? I don't know about you, but I remember MySpace. I remember Zanga. I remember LiveJournal. There are seasons of software. Right now for my live streaming, I'm trying out a new piece of software. I love the software I was on, but I'm trying something new to see if it maybe will fix something that I need in my use case. There are absolutely seasons of moods. Last year around this time, I was in I don't know what I would call it, but I was not feeling exactly myself. I was not feeling great. And our family is going through seasons of health. There are things that are going on in our family. People I know aren't struggling with certain things, but then they're struggling with other things. We have so many seasons. The good thing about seasons is they let us reevaluate what we are doing and what we are into. Seasons let us grow. Seasons let us try new things. They help us kind of reevaluate why do we do things and try to reestablish what is our goal, what we're aiming for. And seasons let us try new things. I have tried so many things throughout my life. And you know, I'm going to try so many things more throughout my life. Seasons help us realize everything is temporary. We're not going to be into the same interests our entire life. I mean, we may. There are certain things that we still love to do. I still love to perform for the edification of others. That's one reason why I'm behind the mic every single week, because it's fun. But who knows if even podcasting will be the same thing that I do years later. I did this as video years ago. Who knows? We might have like 3D holograms and you'll see me dancing and stuff like that. But seasons help us realize what's important, because certain things are temporary. Certain things will come and go. What we're striving for remains. There will be a point where we won't be here, but what we did will hopefully live on in somebody else. So yeah, I just wanted to say it has really made me think a lot about seasons. It's made me think about what's important, and also realizing time is valuable. Time is important, and we need to cherish what we have. We need to cherish what we're doing and enjoy it in the moment, but then learn from it for where we're heading. Well, thank you for listening this week. You might be here for a season, you might be here for a time, you may come and go, but I appreciate you being here now. You can find the show at inspirationalpodcasts.com. Until next week, be awesome.
Want more awesomeness every week? Visit weeklyawesome.com. Weekly podcasts to make your week better. Remember to smile and be awesome.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.